School District Special Call meeting is Thursday, August the 18th, 2022. It's 5:53. Roll call, please.
Mr. Hector J. Garcia.
Present.
Mr. Hector J. Noyola.
Here.
Ms. Monica Garcia in present. Dr. Minita Ramirez.
Present.
Mr. Guadalupe Gomez.
Present.
Mr. Ricardo Garza.
Here.
I'm like the old song. Estás
No
que te
problem.
vas y te vas y no te has ido.
Okay. We just need
I'm
pledge of
sorry.
allegiance.
Would you all please rise to the Pledge of Allegiance? Did I meet it for the last time?
Indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I mean screen, but it's a workshop.
It's a workshop.
Dr. Rios?
Okay, item number 1, discussion and possible action on the utilization and rental process of the Laredo I.S.D. Performing Arts Complex, including district and rental responsibilities, timelines for facilities rental, contract submission and approval, facility rental fees, required operations personnel and fees, and permits for concession and food sales.
Can we do each one individually?
Yes, I suggest.
Okay, for district and renter responsibilities, I motion to up the 25% on the full rate and 50% on the deposit of the original rates shown on the workshop,
And eliminate
and eliminate reduced rates.
Second.
the motion second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Again?
Okay,
Against, we have Mr. Guadalupe
Was this
Gomez.
for district and renter responsibilities or
Yes.
facility rental?
the responsibilities are just what you're responsible for and what you're not responsible for. Are you sure we cannot do it all at once?
We can if everybody.
Ask-
can-
That was for the facility, for facility rental fees.
So why can't we just say as presented with the amendment of
Yeah,
the-
do it
whatever
all
it
at
was?
once.
Okay,
For all
so,
of them.
okay, we'll go back.
Let's
So
re-
I amend that motion to,
Rescind.
so I rescind that motion?
Yes.
So the motion to rescind, is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Again?
Aye.
Now what's the new motion? We're gonna do it all at once.
So the motion is to, as far as what did you say?
So
We're going
as
to,
presented-
as presented at the budget workshop, to including the facility rental fees upping 25 and 50%, removing all the recommendations on the reduced rate. We are going to only allow 2 events, and then after that, it would be for.
Technically, it's not 2, it's 3, because the Colonial has.
And yes, the 3 events,
Right.
it would be for the 3 events, but then we are going to keep it to LISD rental only after that.
And one
And
more,
we are going to also up
the personnel
the
charges.
personnel part to the highest rate on,
Custodians.
The recommendation by the.
by the finance department,
Right.
right? Is that all, Mr.?
We're also gonna make sure that we have a $1 million
Insurance?
insurance.
Per-
Also,
per
the 3
occurrence.
organizations that will be using the facilities, plus the opening, that they would have to provide their own liquor license and be responsible for any kind of damage. And all, through the whole thing, anybody that we haven't, even our school district, because the schools use them, we have a responsibility, so, that they're responsible for any kind of damage.
So then it's a motion as Ms.
That's the
Garcia presented, supplemented by
Second.
Mr. Garcia.
Right. The motion as it was presented with the amendment that I made, all those in favor?
Aye.
Against?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next.
Okay. Going back to number 2.
Oh, there was one against. You did record that, right?
Oh, and one against?
Okay, one against, Mr. Gomez.
Gomez.
Oops, may I go on?
Go.
Item number 2, discussion and possible action to approve a resolution and making certain findings under the Texas Education Code subsection 26.08A concerning setting the maintenance and operations rate and debt service tax rates of the Laredo Independent School District for the year beginning on January 1st, 2022 and ending on December 31st, 2022. Ms. Ayala, and I know that she did give you a notebook here with some documents for you to see. Ms. Ayala?
Thank you, Dr. Rios. Good evening, Board of Trustees. We provided information in a handout format with, and I also have it up in the screen with a proposed increases due to the disaster that we had back in February. Due to that, the law provides us the opportunity to increase the pennies up to 5 pennies without triggering an election. So we prepared several charts for you to consider. I'll go ahead and go with section 1. So how much will the disaster pennies generate if the Board of Trustees were to consider 1 penny? And that 1 penny translates to about $2,706,421.
What do you recommend?
So
You're 1 through 5.
1 through 6, no?
No, 5.
1 through 5?
Oh, I'm sorry. You're right.
It's
Well, 1 through 5, because the first one is
Actually, it's because the
normal.
scenarios are listed on the left and then
What
the
is your,
5 pennies.
what is your recommendation, Ms. Ayala?
Our recommendation will be at about 2 pennies, and I will explain why.
Okay.
Uh,
And may-
Okay.
May I proceed? I know that Ms. Ayala is talking 2 pennies, and I know that in speaking to some of you trustees, you're thinking about maybe one more, just in case. And I will tell you that I did ask Ms. Ayala, what can these monies fund? And besides the reparations that needed to happen because of that February storm, I do want to make note that we do have some very big expenditures that were on the horizon. We need to buy 10 buses. And just for you to know, it takes a year to buy those buses. Now, I'm not saying that all of this, I'm just thinking considerations. Yes, so I did ask, I'm sorry, I did ask Ms. Ayala about what some of the things that we could maybe then talk about in, as far as addressing the needs that came from there, and then how that will free up some other funding. So, Mr. Garcia, I know you wanted to talk a little bit about this.
Just looking at the numbers, I was comfortable with a two gold coin, because we make money that we need right now. If you consider a third is money to put away for construction that we're trying to finish off in the south, which is the south Sierra campus and the middle school, because we're gonna need that, plus the buses. I don't think we're going into the copper pennies, because I think it's gonna take us too much from our taxpayers, but I think at 3%, at the 3 coins, they're comfortable with. It's not, for an average home, it's an increase of what?
If you go to the second section, for 3 pennies on the average residence, it will be $19.54 on a value of $112,498.
$19?
$19.54.
I do want to make
Or
note,
3.
please, let's formally make note that there is damages that you see right away. This broke, this, just like remember when we had the rain, okay, this is leaking, this is that. You can see some of those damages, and I know that Ms. Ayala has been very good about also pointing out that during the 2 days, we had to pay people to come in during those 2 days that we were off. But again, there has to be a correlation, if I'm...
That's correct.
There has to be a correlation as to some of the damages that you may not see right now, but that are gonna materialize because of that storm.
And
It's-
what has been substantiated.
And what has been substantiated, just to let you know. And Ms. Ayala, you wanna add some more
2
to
is the
that?
minimum.
Very
I
well
would say
stated.
3.
Yes, that's what I was gonna announce about the 2 days that we closed and we didn't get reimbursement from TA.
But remember,
So I'm gonna,
the correlation, Ms. Ayala, making sure with substantiated damages and with what we're
And
asking.
we do have,
Okay,
yes.
but what those numbers are that you've already proven up with respect to what you're requesting here today with the pennies?
right. So, you want me to explain that?
Yes.
The cost for 1-day closure for that February the 18th was about $900,000, and another $900,000 for the 19th. That's about close to $2 million, plus we also had maybe another $70,000 in overtime pay and materials and supplies to cover some of those damages caused by the storm.
Well, I'm gonna motion to go for 3 pennies.
Yeah, before we go into that real quick, let's make sure that the taxpayers know what effect it's gonna have on their rates, on the 2%, on 2 cents and 3 cents. Just to
Yes.
make sure, because I don't wanna go out there, they weren't aware of it. At a 2%, it's $13.03 for a value of a home of
112,000.
112,000, okay.
It's a home
Because
sale,
originally we saw 70, and $19.54 for a house of,
Also 100.
right,
For the
yeah.
same price, yes.
So,
Same
Ms.
value.
That's
Ayala,
the effect it's gonna have to tax, which is not.
so
that
this
much.
funding is only for this 1 year, right?
It's only for 1
It's only
year.
a 1 year.
yes.
Yeah,
It
so
disappears.
that needs to be very clear, because, you know, we're gonna come back next year after we finish figuring out what's going on with the attendance and everything goes along and see where we stand. But we can adjust this next year, as we move forward. Again, a little bit of light on the monies, and we were talking about the storm, and the number one question that the public I would ask, would say, why wasn't the state of Texas, how much are we gonna get reimbursed out of that by the state? Is there no waiver? There's no,
We
this is completely on us.
So we didn't qualify for any reimbursement. On the additional cost, we did apply for FEMA, and because the county was not over a certain threshold, we did not qualify for reimbursement. So that's how come we're using them, inputting those costs into this resolution.
Okay, so that we just need to make that very clear, because we're doing this because we were not gonna be getting compensated by anybody else
We didn't.
other than us. We were
Right.
pretty much left stranded in the storm. And I just wanted to make that very clear.
So, you want also to maybe make a point, what's the difference between the golden penny and the copper penny, and how they generate more funding than a bond?
Yes. So a golden penny has greater value than a penny issued or collecting a penny under the debt service. It has less value. So a golden penny in here in this section 3 is worth $98.56 per watt times the amount of pennies. I know it gets complicated. While the copper penny generates $49.28 per watt times the pennies. However, right now, under debt service, we only get stayed by the rate of maybe 60%, which is a lot less than these pennies that are worth a lot more, at 98.56 per watt under debt service is per ADA. So it has more value, and being that we don't have capacity to issue more debt right now, it is a considerable amount of money for the board to consider as an option.
So just for the record, anything under 3 will not have an increase, like comparison to the previous year.
We'll have an increase.
Anything under 3. So from 1, 2, and
If you
3.
get the 3 pennies, you will have an increase.
It won't
Yes.
show an increase
Yes.
for the taxpayers compatible to the previous years. There
So-
won't be an increase.
Right, so let's look at the chart right
In the middle.
here. So these are the rates we had for the previous 2 years. In 2020, it was 1.39. In 2021, it's 1.3892. We did publish 1.3545. Now, there's compression of Tier 1 right here, which was part of House Bill 2 to start the reducing taxes for the homeowners. But right now, if we go to 3 pennies, compare it to the current one, 2021, you'll see it's almost about the same. The only difference is the value in the residence. It was last year 97,526, and now that same home is worth 112,498.
And that is out of our control.
That's the average, right?
Motion
This
to
board was
approve
a-
the 3
this
pennies.
board was able to lower the tax rate, so by doing this, we're still lower than we were a year ago.
Yes.
There's a motion, Mr. Garcia, for the 3 pennies.
Is there a motion to accept the 3 pennies? The 3 golden pennies?
Three golden pennies.
There's a motion Second?
I already second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Against? Thank you.
Thank you.
Next.
Before you leave that chart, go back, Flor, I just want to reiterate Mr. Garcia's point. Please look at the tax rate in 2021, very quickly. Can you point that out, Flor? The tax rate in 2021 was $1.3892. If you go to the 3 pennies, the tax rate is 1.3845. So it's still a little.
Thank you, Dr. Rios.
And we would, one more note, we will need to republish the rate because we published back in June 1.3545. And because we're adding more pennies, we're required to republish it.
Number 3?
Okay, but do we have to, this resolution, Mr. Perez?
Yes, we have to go ahead and approve of the signature of the resolution, Ms. Ayala.
So does that have to be a motion to approve the
Yes,
resolution?
let's go ahead and approve.
But do I have to?
Motion to
no,
approve, oh, do you have to read it?
I have to read it, correct?
You have it, Ms. Ayala?
I don't know.
I have it here.
I have it here.
Do you want to read it, Ms. Monica? Ms. Garcia?
Well, we need to fill in the blanks.
Okay.
Can you mention it, Ms. Ayala?
We
Making certain findings under everything?
Yes.
Making certain findings under Texas Tax Code 2608A concerning setting the maintenance and operations and debt service tax rates of the Laredo Independent School District for the year beginning on October 1st, 2022 and ending September 30, 2023. Whereas the valuation of taxable property within the boundaries of Laredo Independent School District, I.S.D., has heretofore been determined by the Webb County Appraisal District and certified to the Board of Trustees Board, and whereas the budget for the Laredo Independent School District was prepared and adopted on June, right?
28, yes, ma'am.
June 28, 2022, at a public hearing on the matter, and whereas the tax rate for the Laredo Independent School District was prepared and is scheduled to be adopted on August 18,
No, that will be September the 8th.
September the 8th, 2022, by the Board of Trustees, and whereas beginning in early February of 2021, all 254 counties in Texas included Webb County, which includes the Laredo Independent School District, experienced severe and prolonged freezing temperatures, heavy snow and freezing events, which has been given the name Winter Storm Yeary in Webb County, Texas, and the Laredo Independent School District. The severe winter weather system produced heavy winds, freezing temperatures, snow and freezing rain. The foregoing winter storm and severe freezing weather event culminated in an state of disaster proclamation of the governor of the state of Texas, issued by Governor Greg Abbott on February 12, 2021. Do I have to read the attachment 1, February 12, 2022 proclamation? On February 20, 2021, the governor requested federal disaster assistance for the event. Attachment 2. Is there a date, Ms. Ayala?
That is the title of an attachment that I do not have yet.
Okay, the request led untimely to the granting of federal disaster assistance as requested by the governor's office from the Federal Emergency Management Administration and FEMA file number to be inserted by our finance department.
Yes.
FEMA map, and whereas I.S.D. staff has compiled a partial list of specific effects which the winter storm area weather events have had on the district's resources, facilities, and/or infrastructure which were caused by events occurring during the 2021 tax year, and whereas beginning on February 18, 2021, within the 2021-22 school year, and continuing thereafter into the upcoming 2022-23 school year, tax year 2022, the Laredo Independent School District has been required to expand and increase the amount of money in order to respond to the prolonged freezing temperatures, heavy snow and freezing events, and other weather damage caused by Winter Storm Yeary. And whereas the board finds that such disaster has negatively impacted the Laredo Independent School District, and whereas tax year 2022, the 2022-23 school year is the year following the year in which the disaster occurred, and whereas the Board of Trustees published a preliminary maintenance and operations tax rate of 0.9427. However, the certified
Madam
value.
Garcia,
Huh?
that would be .8046 to be corrected on the.
.086 as corrected by Ms. Floriala. However, the certified value of July 2023 2 indicates the possible adoption of a maintenance and operations tax rate of
This would be maintenance and operations, the 3 pennies will be .8846.
.8846, however, due to the damaging effects of the winter storm Yeary upon the resources, infrastructure, and facilities of the district, the Board of Trustees wishes avail itself the provisions of Texas Tax Code 26.08A, which authorizes the Board of Trustees of the Laredo Independent School District to increase any maintenance and operations tax rate without an election for a one-year period in the tax year following the governor's declarations of disasters and renewals due to the increased expenditure of money necessary to respond to Winter Storm Yeary, and whereas it is now desired by the Board of Trustees of Laredo Independent School District to acknowledge the governor's disaster declaration and to adopt a maintenance and operation tax rate of .8846 per 100 valuation set for the tax year 2022, the 2022-23 school year. Now therefore be it resolved by the Board of Trustees of the Laredo Independent School District, Section 1, that the facts and recitations contained in the preamble of this resolution are hereby found and declared to be true and correct. Section 2, the Board was authorized by the provisions of the Texas Tax Code 26.08A to raise its maintenance and operations tax rate without an election for a one-year period in the tax year following the governor's declaration of a disaster due to the increased expenditure of money necessary to respond to Winter Storm Yeary occurring on and after February the 19, 2021. Section 3, the maintenance and operations tax rate on the 100 valuation adopted and levied for the tax year beginning on October 1st, 2022 and ending on September 30, 2022 in the amount of,
We would need to insert that at a.
as inserted by the
CFO?
CFO of El Laredo Independent School District on a 100 valuation payable in the lawful currency of the United States is levied for the support and maintenance of the public schools of the Laredo Independent School District. Section 4, the debt service, interest, and sinking fund tax rate on the 100 valuation adopted and levied for the tax year beginning on October 1st, 2022 and ending on September 30, 2023 in the amount of,
Again, it would be.
it will be inserted by our CFO of the Laredo Independent School District on a 100 valuation for the public schools of the Laredo Independent School District. Approved and executed this 18th
August the 18th.
of August 2023, no, 2.
Motion, there's a second. Any questions, comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Against? It's carried unanimous.
So do I read fast?
Good job.
May I
She
proceed?
mispronounced something, the first paragraph. Can we
Please
just
start
go
again,
back?
but
Okay.
this time in English.
Item number 3, discussion and possible action on the potential increase of daily meal rates for the student participants in the University Interscholastic League. And really, what we have in your notebook, in your bound documents right there, we have a proposed rate. I do want to tell you that this is not just for athletics. It is for anyone who competes. So that means all of band, all of mariachi,
Good.
every single student that goes out and cheer, dance, everybody. One of the things that we have found is that as students are traveling, especially when they go out of town, especially for breakfast, there's not enough money.
I move
So-
that we accept item 3.
But as
Wait a
is,
minute.
Second. And I need another one.
so.
It's
please look
motioned
at
and
your chart.
seconded.
Okay,
Mr.
but-
Garcia?
Discussion.
Let's discuss the rates, please.
Went from Happy Meals to a Whopper or what? I know it's expensive. I know for a fact it's like at least 35% more expensive now. So if we go anywhere above that 35%, I'll be happy.
Well, just remember, it's for every single kid and everything.
I mean,
It's
through
not just one
Through no
activity.
fault of the district or the
We already
kids.
have the chart,
Right,
so
Can we
we're,
buy a McDonald's for $9?
no, yeah, no.
Whataburger?
that's with the extra sauce.
Yeah, that's what, right, the thing is, I think the breakfast should be at least $8 or $9.
Yeah, I agree.
What they've been doing right now, that I know for a fact, is that they've been.
They make tacos.
But no, they've been getting Little Caesars, 4 or 5 pizzas, and then they spread them on the way home. You know, while it's efficient, it's not feasible or
And
human,
it's not healthy.
and it's not human.
And good evening, board members and Dr. Diaz and members of the audience. We will appreciate everything that you consider because when we met with Ms. Ayala, she's like, when was the last time we visited these rates? And it's been more than 9 years that we haven't, we have not raised them in a long time, so.
No, we did raise them about 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Nope.
I was gonna say, because that was.
Yes, we did
Yeah.
raise them.
She was superintendent. Go back to your records.
Okay.
We did, but, you know, the fact is.
Not
that-
much, but we did do
Yeah,
some.
but the fact is that inflation is.
I think we added the pregame only.
Yeah.
So,
I think it should be, I think it should be 8, 10, and 12, 8, 10, and 12. But I also think that it should be the same thing we did for the employees. If it should be, whatever the number is, the 3 numbers, it comes out to 45, that should be in a day. If I choose to, you know what?
It is
Okay.
like that, sir.
They
Yes,
can,
sir.
they can use that money
It's
instead
a per
of
diem.
breakfast, they can use it at lunch, or they can have a big dinner.
It
If
is
they're going out
it
with
is a
somebody.
per diem.
Okay, that's good.
Okay, this is only for out-of-town games, right?
Yes.
Okay, how about local?
Yes,
When-
the pregame that is right below on the chart, the pregame is the one that we use for local events.
Okay,
Oh,
good,
okay.
pre-game.
that's
Okay.
$8.
Now, on out-of-town games, are coaches also covered with this?
No, the coaches.
Why
are-
not?
A what?
Out of town?
Coaches are not covered? That's
Yes, but with a
absurd.
different funding.
They have don't they have a different, as a travel, they go by the travel of the state of Texas, don't they?
Yes, when they're out of town.
So UIL does not allow coaches to get a meal
No,
after a
because-
game?
No, Mr. Noguera, what happens when you travel as an employee, we have to go by the employee travel
Rate.
rates
state,
that TEA gives us. We're bound by the state requirements, so there, we already have a per diem as an employee to travel.
But not for meals.
And that goes for any overnight travel, Dr. Ramirez, but not for a single day travel. We don't have a per diem.
But then that is the same thing in every school district. If you're doing single day, like this is pregame
That's for state
this is for student meal rates right now. If y'all want to bring that later on for employees, that's a different item. But this one, we just want to have a policy for students that's, if we can.
Yes, definitely, I want to bring that up because that's not right for coaches
Yeah.
are not covered
Or
when they
band
travel.
directors.
Well, the only thing is that they get paid, they get a
Yes.
salary.
And they get a stipend for that.
So
I'm
they
more worried
go,
about the kids and not the coaches. 'cause the
But
coaches get a
teachers
salary.
also
But I'll look-
get
I'll-
covered
we'll
when they
look at it.
travel.
Right, we
So-
should look at it.
so
But I make a motion that we go from breakfast from $8,
So
lunch.
there's a motion on the floor that I'd like to rescind, Mr. Garcia. I'll rescind my motion to reflect the changes that we've discussed to 8 for breakfast, 10 for lunch, and 12 for dinner.
And pregame from 8 to 9.
Okay?
That's our motion.
That's the motion I made.
There's a
And
second?
Second that.
There's a second. Any comments or questions? All in favor?
aye.
Favor. All in favor?
Aye.
All again? Thank you. Thank you. Good job.
Can you,
But it
sometimes,
was,
Give us
may I?
Give us a breakdown on how much the cost overall will be, Ms. Ayala?
So, Mr.
last
Garcia, Mr. Perez is saying there was never a vote to begin with, so the motion was rescinded. But now if you want to do it this way, you have to have a motion again. We did.
So moved.
You had
We
to
did the
rescind the
rescind.
first
did-
one.
Oh,
and then
rescind my,
Your
well,
original one.
all right,
Just
so
do the,
I
motion
rescind
again.
I'll move to rescind my original motion.
Right.
And I had said to
rescind.
replace it with my new one. Okay.
All those-
Oh, so does it matter now?
Monique,
Yes, let's go ahead and do it again. Just do it again, just to be.
so rescind it, and then
the
he
motion to
second.
rescind, is there a second?
Yes.
All in favor?
Aye.
Against? We didn't vote, you're right. Now with the new motion.
Okay, so the new motion is to accept the student meal travel for all UIL activities to reflect $8 for breakfast, $10 for lunch, $12 for dinner, and $9 for a pregame meal.
Second.
There's a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Against? Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, may I read the last one?
Please.
Okay, item number 4, discussion and possible action to approve the recommendation to hire the following professional positions. Possible closed session pursuant to Texas Government Code Section 551.074, elementary school assistant principal and secondary school assistant principal.
Motion to go into executive?
Second.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Again? It's 6:22. We should be out by 6:25. No action was taken. Dr. Rios?
Wait, Miss.
Oh, she told you? My project came out good. My project.
Okay, item number 4, discussion and possible action to approve the recommendation to hire the following professional positions. We are postponing the elementary school assistant principal recommendation, and ladies and gentlemen, I would like to recommend Ms. Velma Quintana Torres for secondary school assistant principal at Memorial.
The motion? There's motion, there's a second? Second, all those in favor? Aye. Against? Uno. Congratulations.
Okay. May I read the
Next.
thingamajigs? Okay, I want to remind everyone that we have summer class of 2022 graduation, and it is scheduled for Wednesday next week at 6 p.m. at the Trevino Magnet Schools Auditorium. There should be 12 students who will be graduating from all 3 comprehensive high schools. I hope that you are able to make it. There is an event called the Peanut Butter Bowl, which will be held during the Cigarroa Zapata game on Thursday, August 25th at 7 p.m. at Shirley Field. The collection of new containers of peanut butter will benefit South Texas Food Bank. Peanut butter will also be collected at the Martin LBJ game on Friday, August 26th. LISD students and staff will enjoy a Labor Day holiday on Monday, September the 5th. Classes will resume on September the 6th. The Student Services Committee meeting is scheduled for Tuesday, September 6th at 11 a.m., followed by a Compliance and Accountability meeting at 5:30 p.m. The Curriculum and Instruction Committee meeting will be held on Wednesday, September 7th at 9 a.m., followed by the Operations Committee meeting at 5:15 p.m. The Business and Support Services Committee meeting is set for Thursday, September 8th at 5:30 p.m., and the regular board meeting will be held on Thursday, September the 15th. I want to let you know that today I visited with Region 1, and all of the school districts that made an A were honored. Region 1 has continuously been the #1 region in schools, in the number of schools getting an A. And I want to tell you that it dipped during the pandemic, and so now Region 1 outscored. So Region 1 also recognized the first rating of an A. And there was only, I want to say it was like 12 schools that had, 12 school districts that had an A, maybe a couple more in both areas. And so this is a very big distinction for us. It's not just about one thing, it's not just about academics, but it's also the finance part. And as we move forward, you're going to get a report from Dr. Cruz as the number of distinctions. Laredo I.S.D. earned 95 distinctions. So every single campus, I believe, except for 1 or 2, was it 2 or 1? 4 that did not earn 1 distinction. So we want to commend every single school, every single staff member, every single central office support, professional support, all kinds of support. This has been something that's really, really big for us. A 91. This is a huge, huge accolade, and it's the result of the guidance that we get from you as a school board, but it's also recognition that goes all the way to the state level. So we're one of the top, we are considered an exemplary district. And so we already know what targets we're going to be working on. And so with that being said, as we move forward, there's been a lot of work already being done so that we can move forward and support our schools. We used to have, I know that Oralia's not here. What's our enrollment right now, Ms. Ayala? Okay, 20,200, and how many people are actually, like yesterday?
Present.
Yeah,
No, but I mean, what was the percent rate? Yes, at the very beginning, we were at 91, now we're slowly increasing, 92, and now 94. And that is something that we really, really need to praise our people, our staff, our students, and the community, because it takes a joint effort. The more time that kids spend in school, the better that they are prepared, and the more that they will participate in our activities. So thank you so much for your support and your guidance.
thank you. Real quick, we were getting a report on a daily basis last year. We fell asleep this year because we haven't got one report on a daily attendance. Jessica had sent us an overall one, but we got how many kids we had in every school every single day. Where's that report? But it wasn't coming from you, it was coming, the attendance, you didn't have
It's
that.
coming
That
from
needs to come to us, because we keep track on our schools, how many kids do we have at every school? That was a very, very good, what are our numbers last year and this year? Please start sending it to us, at least for the first month and a half to 2 months, because we keep track on that. Secondly, I'm sad to say, but this is officially, I got the letter, officially Dr. Ramirez's last meeting with us. As we break, she goes into the sunset to the 5 blocks down. Doug, again,
I'll come visit.
we can't say what we've already said it time after time, but
Thank you.
Wait, there is.
Wait, but I think Dr. Rios says that, my letter says officially August 31st, but I
Yes.
think there's another special call meeting which you all need my
Yes.
attendance at. So I may be back one more time.
I also want to tell you
changed
that
it.
we are doing a celebration for
The 31st, you're
our
right.
schools. I have a leadership meeting, and I know that I've already shared that with Mr. Garcia, and it's important to celebrate what we've been through, and some of you already know what we've been through. It's not about what's going on the outside, it's what's going on in the inside of our schools. And so I do want to tell you, I'm very proud of our schools, and I know you are too. And I hope that you get an opportunity to
Invite
really
me to the
express
party,
that.
please. Invite me to the party, please, and the dedication of the new building.
We will.
motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Against? We're officially adjourned.